Hey guys, what's going on? Maddie here from DC Blogger. Wanted to make a video on Metaverse jobs or web3 jobs, basically things that you can do in the space and get paid for. Definitely moving into a new space of just a complete set of new skills that will allow you to utilize them and get jobs or get paid for things in the web3 space. Very exciting times right now because companies want to get in. They don't know what's going on, they need some help. There's consulting work that you can do, there's development work you can do, there's admin work you can do, there's artist work you can do. It's just a lot of stuff that is going on. So I wanted to just go through maybe 5 or 6 or 8, basically whatever popped in my mind within a couple of minutes of just jotting down a couple of job ideas. But yeah, let's pretty much dive right into it. But Discord admin. So again, like Web3 jobs or NFT jobs, basically Web3, Metaverse, NFT, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's utilizing a skill in a space where you're getting paid and you're also learning about the space deeper, right? So that's what's qualifying as a Web3/Metaverse job. That being said, a Discord admin. I mean, of course, there's going to be so many NFT projects out there or ways to moderate communities, whether it be Web3, Metaverse related, or even not. And an admin is going to be crucial in managing that community. It's basically like, I wouldn't say HR in the real world, but it's, yeah, it's hard to, what is it, like an MC or someone that organizes and manages Q&A parts of things. But I remember launching the Medikey Discord and it had like thousands of people join. It was super overwhelming. So we went ahead and we hired about 5 to 6 moderators. It's showing only 3 online at the moment. We hired about 5 to 6 at the time. I remember just being like, all right, let's just go hard on moderators. Let's make sure every question gets answered. And, we pay them part-time. They do a damn good job of checking up on questions and answering them at the same time. We hired more people, so there's way more people in-house that were available to answer questions. And slowly became a team that could manage the influx of community engagement that we needed to assist with, right? And then, of course, you got other projects like Artifact Studio that have moderators and have like quests and games and all sorts of things. So yes, moderators or Discord admins, moderators will definitely be needed, and there's going to be a need for thousands and thousands of them. And the way you really get in is really just be at a project that you're passionate about quite early. Start helping a lot. Like pretty much every day we'd find some people, the same people come in, answer questions, be very passionate about sharing information. And they're the ones we reach out to be mods. So the job scope for moderators, I think, is one of the biggest in this space. Right? Then if you move on a little bit, you're going to get virtual events. So this is events.decentraland.org. It's where people go and put an event for Decentraland. You can see that there's a Parcel Party presents Magic Hour with Stony. This is tomorrow on Parcel -120 to -150. Parcel coordinates, and there's 653 people going there. There's 202 people going here. There's a bunch of people going to these other events, but to coordinate these events, to manage them, to run them, to spend an hour to make sure the event does well, it's quite a lot of people that are required. So yes, event organizers, also people on the back end that are making sure the stream is working fine, that the tech part of things work fine, right? So event organizers definitely are needed. I mean, within Decentraland, honestly, the people that are the traffic, the online metaverse traffic, anything got to do with entering virtual worlds powered by blockchain are so minimal. I mean, there's probably like 3 to 4,000, maybe 5,000 people in these worlds collectively at any given time. It's so small. Imagine when there's millions. To moderate events, you're gonna need like 10 to 20 people to help manage the amount of people in these spaces. And companies want to run events because events are going to be a way to run great PR stories, to get some publicity, to manage a community that is a much more, it can be engaged more than just web, just normal sort of static websites. So you're going to be seeing much more of this But what we are seeing is a start of a need of running metaverse style, virtual events. So virtual event organizers, coordinators, anyone that can assist with this, and there's going to be a lot, is basically Discord in the 3D world. You're going to need a lot of sort of moderators and planners, right? All right, virtual land brokers. There is a decent amount of companies, individuals, people with decent sized pockets coming in, looking for parcels or land to buy. Now, this is Decentraland, and honestly, it's very confusing on first glance. It's like, all right, well, okay, cool, this is Decentraland. What the hell does this mean? What is even in this land? How do you research what a hot area is? Is it good to get land near roads? Where even are the roads? What are these green boxes? Is it good to get a land connected to them? How much should you be paying? What's a fair price? How do you negotiate? Who do you buy it from? Who do you contact? How do I get a land that's not listed? So many questions, right? I used to get such a massive influx of people that would go through me to buy land. I'd escrow for them, I'd purchase and negotiate land for them, and I earn a pretty decent amount of money doing so. So the same thing is definitely happening on the sandbox and Somnium space. It is super overwhelming if companies or people that want to come into the space want to get something that they're going to derive value from, because they're going to build on those places. So a virtual land broker, consultant, someone that can even do the trade for you. You can use them as an escrow. So, I mean, you don't need escrow because everything's done by smart contracts, but some people just prefer escrow, right? Some people don't want to do the trade using smart contracts because they don't want that data to be visible until they announce it. Or else someone will be like, oh, holy shit, there's been a $3 million sale in Decentraland. And they'll start going crazy on Twitter. And some people don't want that publicity until they're ready to announce it, right? Because then people start tracking the wallets, and then, yeah, it gets a bit out of control because data is somewhat public in the blockchain space. So escrow is being needed, is being used. And again, like the reason why smart contracts exist is to take out services like escrow, but middlemen are being used today to transact really large sales, right? Trusted middlemen. So there is a job for it at the end of the day. So yes, virtual land brokers, escrow services, definitely needed, right? Now, NFT consultants, brokers, similar sort of thing. So people that are, doing like really top collection CryptoPunks, maybe they want to, maybe someone wants to buy like a $15 million alien punk, right? And someone knows an alien punk owner, and he makes it happen, makes the deal happen. He negotiates in between. He gets a cut for doing so and getting the deal basically done. So yeah, NFT brokers in general, so not just virtual land, NFT brokers will be needed, right? Will be needed. Portfolio managers, right? There are people with pretty big portfolios of NFT portfolios, and I think I don't know, this is complete speculation, but I think like someone like what's his name, Cosmo de Medici, right? This fellow over here, basically run by Snoop Dogg's, probably Snoop Dogg's team. I can't see Snoop Dogg on Twitter tweeting 10 times a day. I'm sure he's got a bunch of other stuff to do. But this, whatever team this is that's running this, probably managing and acquiring stuff on behalf of Snoop Dogg as well. So portfolio management for large collectors or funds or anyone is definitely needed. In fact, it's just, venture funds, they exist to manage the capital of a bunch of people. So a bunch of wealthy individuals give money to invest in an industry. They don't know how to invest in the industry. They give it to a specialist. That specialist goes on to make a fund, and this is the venture capital industry. And that fund will go out and invest in the best of their ability, different projects, equity. They'll invest in different ways. But there are definitely funds being started now in the NFT space, smaller ones, right? So friends, family coming together, maybe running it through a DAO. But there are definitely funds out there, or portfolio management services required. Which also comes with some security as well. Like I think like another one to add here is security services. I think security services, the ability to keep something safe, is also part of fund management. So being secure, managing a Trezor wallet, I think that's how you pronounce it, or a Ledger wallet, etc. Dev contract deployer. So like people that will go out and do the contract side of things. So this is Manifold. They're building kind of the WordPress. It seems like the WordPress of the internet sort of thing, except it's for NFTs. So ways to interact with the contract dev side of things, being a simple artist. So if you want to deploy your own contracts, if you want to, make art and stuff, this is a way that you don't have to learn heavy coding to do so, it seems. But on the back end of this, there's a bunch of developers. So developers are definitely needed. So for example, if you're going to, launch your own, where is it? Where's it? Avatar project. So for example, even like Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? I'm sure the founders were not the developers that did that, or something else. Let's say crypto brokers. So Josie launched that one. The ones that did all that on the back end, on chain, etc. They were not the ones that did the art. So they were hired or kind of collabed on the project, on the dev, on the tech side to put out the project. So there's definitely going to be a ton of developers required to run this stuff, because it is code at the end of the day. A lot of this is code. That's the beauty of this space, right? The back end is all code, the front end is all art, and it's such a mix and clash. It's like the perfect storm of skills that are being born and creating products in the space. It's pretty damn cool. A data analyzer. All right, well, that's a weird one. Like why the hell would there be a need for what the hell even is a data analyzer? Well, people want to make sense of the NFT space, right? So if you go to, like, back in the day, you got to understand, like, none of this stuff existed. OpenSea was so damn small. It had barely any volume. In fact, it had a few different marketplaces that were competing for this, and they had like really bad UI, but they were doing equivalent volume to OpenSea. OpenSea today is very different to what it used to be before. So things like data on land sales that are happening, like this activity tab, this floor prices, volume traded for the week or the day or the month, the last 90 days, these graphs, these were not available back in the day. So what's happening is the evolution of how data is being read and presented, because that creates a lot of information that gives confidence for buyers to invest. For example, like someone can look at this and be like, all right, well, what were these peaks? I can go back in time and look at these exact dates. They can see if something happened here. They can see, well, how much supply is there? How many holders is there? It's a pretty cool thing. It even tells you how many items there are. It also tells you, you can dive even deeper. You can open up the contract address over here, and it'll tell you the number of holders, 11,600 holders of the project. It even tells you the top holders, 2,100 lands held by this wallet, 1,200 lands held by this wallet. You can see like who are some of the largest land holders, right? Which is pretty cool. So all this information, the more what's going to start to happen is people are going to start analyzing all this data, putting it out there. And if you look at Dune Analytics, you can see a lot of these devs have done top NFT collection buys of BASE holders. So someone's kind of looked at the data of Bored Ape Yacht Club holders and seen, all right, well, what are the collections that these guys are actually participating in? They're participating in Snoop Dogg on Sound XYZ, Gucci Grail Mint Pass, Zombie Club token, Bored Ape Kennel Club, all sorts of things, right? Then you got like Rubber Duck Dashboard, Snoop Dogg on Sound Music NFTs, Looks Rare. So this was created by Dingaling, so the amount of sales that are happening on Looks Rare. All this information, all this data that's required. So another one for the devs, and it's a damn good time to be a dev. I think in the digital world, it's going to become more and more important to have people create, look into data, present stuff, create products, create websites, and a lot of that knowledge comes from developers. All right, and then let's keep going. All right, so dev, contract deploy, you got data analyzer. Another one with the data analyzer thing is this thing right here. So you got no, I think I opened it. Where is it? NFT Ethics, right? So NFT Ethics. The blockchain being an open space, people doing all sorts of businesses, like there will be a need for people to vet and look deeper into buyers or sellers to see if they're legitimate. So for large companies that want to do a trade, they want to know what's going on, there'll be some sort of services to look on the secure side of things. So these guys do public work. They're loved by some, hated by probably many, but they serve a purpose. People look at this stuff and they use them, whether it's a good thing or not, but they use them to vet which projects they want to get involved in. So not just on a public level, but definitely on even a private level, there'll be need to look again. A damn good time to be a dev, right? You know where to look in. You can know which services you can use to connect the dots, etc., etc. What's going on here? This guy has a name tag. Just downloaded a name tag recently. So if you're seeing this, it's because I have the name tag plugin, and I can see, you can, with the name tag plugin, you get this NFT tab. You can add emojis that you can connect up your web3 wallet, and you can connect to the NFTs that you own and add these badges, and then you can get your own NFT. This is an NFT, so your name tag at becomes an NFT. So it's pretty damn cool, actually. If you look at mine, I've got well, that's not mine. I have at web3. Isn't that pretty cool? I don't know why it's showing this, probably glitching a bit, but mine just has the Clonex and the Habbo Hotel. I actually haven't added the other emojis, the other parts of the collection, but I've got the web3 extension as an NFT, which is pretty damn rare. Now check this out. On NFTs, it gives me a tab here, and I can add more stuff here. So this is what's going on, right? Developers are creating these products that are sort of revolutionizing the ways that you can sort of display things. Although, again, you need a plugin to be able to use it and see others with it. This doesn't come natively to Twitter, but imagine if Twitter natively did this. It'd be pretty cool, right? All right, community managers. We sort of went through that before. It is, yeah, pretty much the same as Discord or event managers, but community managers are people that make sure the health of the community is good. They'll look at the data, they'll look at the stats, they'll add more things, they'll manage the people within that community and make sure that they're all happy, right? So again, data, admin, community, it's all digital ways to make things run smoother. Okay, so the last one, last but not least, there's definitely a few others that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't want to dive deep into, but like things like DAO coordinators, people that manage the DAOs and make sure that community that is participating in the DAO they have the information, they have the announcements. So an announcement coordinator. You got all sorts of things. I can get really deep into it, but just again, we're just going to go through a handful. The last one I wanted to touch upon, of course, is artists. Artists are needed everywhere. It's a great time to utilize your skill in art. Check this out. Like, I remember when we did the Medikey, we were looking for an artist, and we saw Jay Marino. He did this, and it was like the coolest thing we had ever seen, right? None of us can obviously do it, but the amount of depth in that artists can create, and the amount of value that brings for projects, you can see how like the NFT space is all about great aesthetics, or a type of aesthetic. It doesn't have to be amazing at first glance. It has to connect with an audience. So artists are what create, there's a ton of services and jobs for artists, of course, and the beautiful thing is you can get successful for doing an art for a great project. For example, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the artist behind that, he or she will go on to have a great name for themselves and go on to sell art because they got success from doing art from a great project, right? So you can expand on your career, you can leverage that to create your own art, NFTs. It is a great time to be an artist. So generally speaking, guys, it is a damn good time to have and grow your skill in this space, because what we're seeing now is just a small snippet of the skills required to put together the products of the new digital, right? In the future, this is going to 1000x in terms of opportunities, in terms of the availability of ways you can get involved, the different lines of industries within the NFT umbrella. It's going to be many ways to participate in this space, and that's why for me right now, and for many of you guys, it should be about skill building, and yes, of course, making capital, and exploring different opportunities. But as long as you're getting better at certain skills, even if that means just managing your social media, right? I mean, you get paid for having a big social media account, so you can help bring awareness to certain projects. Of course, you don't want to shill crappy projects, but if it's a project you really believe in, that you really want to participate in, like Decentraland, which is what I got involved in the first 2 years, to buy and sell land, I used to invest, I used to buy mana, I used to run events and all sorts of things. I used to bring a lot of awareness to a project that I truly believed in, right? And brought immense value to the project, brought immense value to me, etc., etc. But it is really clear to me that in a decade from now, like if you have 3 to 5 years of experience in a specific niche in this industry, you're going to be so insanely valuable. And with the value, with that kind of skill set comes high pay, right? So the developers in the Web3 space are getting paid a ton of money because there's not many of them. And the projects that are utilizing that skill are making a lot of money, so they can afford to pay a decent amount of money for developers in the space. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's a great space to participate and grow your skill. Just because you're not making money in this space, that's just the bare minimum of opportunity this space is providing. It's actually threatening the real world. A lot of the real world jobs and stuff are being transitioned into the digital, right? People are losing their jobs in the real world with certain things. The niche, the ways of doing things, the processes are evolving. In my opinion, the Web3 space and what's happening in front of us, and the opportunities here are long term. Like, I reckon community management, art, there'll always be a need to connect to a real artist. There'll always be a need for people to connect to a real person when they're talking to. So community management, Discord admins and stuff like that, social media, wanting to connect with people that have real opinions about things. All of these are things of the future for decades to come. Anyway, hope that helped. Catch you in another video.